today this is split into two session. Today what we can do is I'll just give overview and then I will hand over to Madhu. He will in detail explain about different types of grinding machines and then grinding wheel selection, grinding wheel specification, balancing of grinding wheel, safety in grinding operation. These things he will cover today. And tomorrow I will come back and take this introduction to grinding process, overview of grinding system, application of abrasives, dressing method types, emerging trends in grinding technology, and factors which influence grinding, and troubleshooting in grinding and enhance productivity case studies. So the main intention when we designed this program, the main intention is to split the gap between this theory and practical. Many things we'll be knowing theoretically, but by implementing in shop floor, that is more important. So that we have kept that in mind. At the same time, we don't forget basics also, but concepts let us understand, and then we will see how it can be adapted in our day-to-day manufacturing requirements. Okay. Now we'll see what this is introduction. In any manufacturing setup, grinding is the finishing process, which involves multiple parameters like work material, heat treatment, process parameter, selection of right grinding wheel, machine, and skill. So it is when this comes to grinding, it is usually what we do. Raw material will come, and then we do turning or milling. That is soft edge operation. Then it will go for heat treatment, and then it will come for grinding. So that means the fag end of the our value stream process. So what happens, a lot of value added thing is there in this. Cost will go considerably high by the time it comes to finishing operation. So everything is critical here. One is what type of wheel we use, what type of machine we use, what is the accuracy of the machine, and who is operating this machine. All these things come. So this is the criticality of the grinding. Since it is a final and critical operation, rejection at this stage involves high cost and it affects the productivity of the company. So the grinding technology program is designed with intention to impart this practical approach and grinding the appropriate industrial case studies. Now we will take as a grinding entire system approach. How the grinding process? One is system input, like a machine tool, operational factors, work material, tooling like grinding wheel and the clamping mechanism, work holding, coolant, such type of thing. This is system input. And with this, actually grinding process will come. So in system, what will come? Machine tool, that is structural compliance, that is rigidity of the machine, kinematic or design, bearings and spindles. What type of bearings use? If it is for rough grinding, there are different types of things. Fine grinding or finish grinding, we may require for higher grade of this bearing, and also the spindle accuracies are also much rigid spindles are required. And also sometimes it may not be very accurate components that what we are grinding, but heavy stock metal removal may be there. At that time, rigidity of the spindle plays a major role. One, this is connected with machine, and also this vibration level in the machine. Such type of things will come. That will go in detail. And my major things are, one is machine tool, and next is operational factors like a grinding cycle, what type of program you are using, how it will grind. Is it punch width oscillation, or it is only traverse, such type of thing. That is grinding cycle. Feed and speed. All of you know that what is the speed of the machine, that's cutting speed, and what feed with feed we are grinding. That is with rough, you may be grinding with higher feed rate, and finish with relatively lesser feed rate. And the depth of cut. In different types of grinding, you will do different depth of cut will be there. In finish grinding, it will be in the order of microns, whereas in case of creep feed grinding, you will remove in MMs. So it depends on the operation. These are the operational factors. Coming to work material, geometry, and what type of component you are grinding. It may be a simple round piece you may be grinding, or it is a stepped one, or you may be grinding one shaft with one keyway is there in that. So the intermittent cut will come. So what, and also sometimes you do a hollow this pipe or hollow block, such type of things you may be grinding. So it depends on the wall thickness may be less. So such type of thing is geometry and surface properties, and also the incoming whatever the raw material is there, what is the surface finish of that, how much stock is there, such type of thing. And material properties, hardness of the material, and what is the finish of that raw material, such type of things in work material. And tooling is like abrasive, coolant, and work holding. You are holding between center or holding in check, such type of. So this is connected with the system input. And then in grinding process, like power, displacement, vibration level, acoustic emission, force, temperature. This is during the process, and in process gauging, such type of things can come. So these are the during the transformation, that is from turn component to ground component. These are the things will happen, and then you will get the part. Like finally, what is that output we are expecting? Form error, like roundness and straightness, dimensional accuracy. This is like diameter, surface finish, surface roughness, and any waviness, integrity. This is the quality that what we expect from the thing. And this is the process quantity and quality parameters and control strategies. So this is entire thing is a closed loop system. System input, transformation, and then system output. And this is integrated. This is the integrated approach for grinding process. So now we'll see what is grinding. Grinding is the most common of abrasive machining. See, this is the abrasive. It is abrasive machining. Whereas in if you take in turning or milling, in turning, it's a single point tool which removes the material. Whereas in milling, there is a multi-point cutter, will be number of multiple cutting edges will come in contact. Whereas in grinding, this abrasive, this is called abrasive grit. This is made of silicon carbide or aluminum oxide. It's like millions of these grits are embedded in the wheel-based material, and that will remove the material. This is called abrasive machining. That's why this grinding is called abrasive machining. It is a material cutting process. It will remove the material here, cutting. It will cut the material, which engages an abrasive tool whose cutting elements are grains or abrasive material known as grit. This is grit. And this is the entire thing is base material, and here bonding material is there, binding material, and this is abrasive grain, and there will be open structure between this that is for coolant movement and for cool cutting. So this is the configuration of the wheel. So these grits are characterized by sharp cutting point, and it has got hot hardness and chemically stable, and it's a wear resistant and suitable bonding material given shape and abrasive tool. So this is how the abrasive tool looks. So in any grinding, in any manufacturing setup, there will be usually this grinding, it has got technical and economical, both challenges are there. Like technical, we have to operate at closer tolerances, complex geometry. I already explained complex geometry means it may be hollow shaft you are grinding, or a configuration of the part is such like that it is a round something. Such type of complex geometries will appear. Where wall thickness is less, then any grinding force is more, then there will be distortion. Possible distortion will be there. So that is another challenge in grinding. And consistency in part quality. This is very important. That is the purpose of grinding actually. And processing of a new material. And nowadays a lot of new materials are coming, like composite materials, glass, and very hard and very soft materials we have to grind. So that is the new materials. And also variety and volume. One is variety, another is volume. Whenever in mass production, if you are doing, the consistency of this quality is very important. Initially, when you are started grinding, few piece components will come okay. after subsequent some this thing, because of temperature variation or because of some vibration of the surrounding part, your quality may go up. So this consistency and this particularly when we are doing mass production is very, very, very critical here. So close monitoring of the process is required. Many times we may have to do in-process gauging, and also out-process, post-process gauging is required. You have to take feedback, and then you have to do the auto corrections. Such type of things will happen. So you have to do this precision and accuracy have to maintain. At the same time, you have to do at the lowest cost per part. That is the challenge. And flexibility requirements are variable. And also you cannot do continuously thousands of parts say of time, because you have to meet different customers' requirement. So you may have to change the settings in between. So such type of challenges will come in. And at that time you lose the productivity. So short production runs.
The different types of grinding machines are a bench grinder, surface grinder, cylindrical grinders, centerless grinder, and special grinder. These are the basics of all grinding machines. You might have seen in your day-to-day work, or you might have seen in the books, or wherever it is. After bench grinder, next machine is called as surface grinder. What is surface grinder? Or what is surface grinding machine? A machine which can produce a flat surface, or machine which can ground a flat surface is called as surface grinding machine. A surface grinder is a person who can do grind flat on the job. Maybe this machine is very familiar to everyone. Most of the people have seen. This is one of the surface grinding machine. A surface grinder is a machine tool used to provide precision ground surface either to critical size or for the surface finish. That means it is doing two objectives. One is either to critical size. Critical size is accurate sizing of job. And second is obtaining a high surface finish. I think this is what Mr. Srinivas was mentioning, that is 3 triangle finish, 4 triangle finish, something like that. Or in other words, in drawing you can see RZ value, maybe 4 to 10 micron or 12 to 16 micron or something like that, the surface finish values. So this machine can produce to that level, and it can also maintain the dimension within plus or minus 2-3 microns. This is a manual type of intergrinding machine, sophisticated, special, where you can do a lengthier jobs, and CNC internal grinding machine. That means for grinding purpose, we have all different technology which is added in CNC machine, where you can produce accurate jobs or repeatability, whatever you are saying, these things can be ensured with this. Can anyone say why the repeatability is high in CNC machines, CNC grinding machines? Or the moment we say CNC machine, we get very accurate component. What could be the one reason for that? Yes, participants, any one answer from your side?
Axis repeatability, sir.
Yeah, no, anyone, your job, dimension repeatability, finish repeatability, any of the things. The moment you say CNC machine, it can be CNC grinding or CNC milling or turning or turn mill center or whatever it is. The moment you say CNC machine means accurate.
CNC machine is operated by servo motor, so that the accuracy is more.
Machine is operated by
servo motor. Means slide is operated by servo motor.
And the machine is operated by servo motor. Slide is moved by LM guideways.
Yeah.
Okay. And all these are having feedback devices, which can give the information that whether it is moved or not, everything. Grinding wheel compensations are there, which can be added to the system.
Yes.
So with all that, definitely you are going to produce a very accurate CNC machine. And this is the one which also leads for industry I 4.0. The same CNC machine can further link to the I 4.0. Okay. So picking the correct grinding wheel type is not the only factor that will influence the grinding result. That means choosing the right one is not the only thing, but we also should know how to mount and how to balance. Proper mounting and balancing of the grinding wheel is also essential. The mounting procedure depends upon the grinding wheel type, depending upon which type of wheel you have been selected. First is visual inspection. The moment you take a grinding wheel to your hand, check for the any cracks are developed or any damages have happened visually. Do the visual inspection. Then check for the maximum operating speed, which is mentioned on the grinding wheel. Then perform a crack test. Crack test means hold the grinding wheel, take on a mallet or a plastic hammer, tap it here and there. If you're able to get a ringing noise, that means the wheel is good. Otherwise, it is not okay. Wheel is not okay. So the process is also place a blotters between the flange because there can be some uneven surface on the grinding wheel that can overcome by using a blotter on either sides for clamping purpose. So after the wheel is selected, select the right flange depending upon the bore diameter. The wheel diameter, wheel bore diameter and the flange bore should be same. Oil the flange. Mount the grinding wheel on the flange. The clamping surface must be clean and flat, and the grinding wheel should slide on easily. That means when the wheel is inserted, it should slide easily. It should not be interference. Interference is dangerous, and it should not be loose too much also. Tighten the flange bolt evenly, diagonally. This is very, very important. See, we want all the screws. Usually there'll be 4 or 6 screws. These screws should be tightened opposite to each other. If there are A, B, C, D, E, then if you take A, then you have to, other side should be D. You have to tighten like that. Then there will be uniform clamping force exists so that there will not be any uneven in clamping. So if you are mounting a CBN or diamond wheel, the procedure, whatever said till now is similar. Only thing is small changes are there. No ring test or plastic blotters are necessary for metallic or resin-based wheel bodies. So whatever we used, a ring test or this thing, no plastic blotters which need not be used here. Tighten the mounting screws only slightly. In that case, we tighten all the 6 screws evenly, all the points. Here, this is required for you to adjust the when there is a small runouts on the wheel. So mounting screws only slightly so the wheel can be moved with a light tap. Mount the grinding wheel on the machine. After mounting, check the runout with a dial gauge. If necessary, correct with a plastic hammer. That means check the runout. There will slight runouts will be there. Make it true as per within 0.02 millimeter. So when checking the runout on the abrasive surface, a measuring device with a stylus roller should be used to avoid wear on the probe. If the probe is having a rubber or a plastic like material, so that will have a wear and tear. So please use a stylus roller. Tighten the flange and bolts evenly and diagonally across the flange with a torque wrench and check the runout. Once the wheel is mounted, then we need to do a balancing before mounting on a machine. Gentlemen, balancing, my question can come like this: whether we do balancing for a bench grinder, surface grinder, or a cylindrical grinder. So balancing is required for all the machine for simple reason. If you do a correct balance, one, you will get a good output from the machine in terms of surface finish, surface roughness, waviness, etc., etc. Second is because of the imbalance in the wheel that can spoil the spindle bearing. There will be continuous impact load on the spindle bearing, which can be avoided by balancing it. So whatever the machine is, trying to balance, and you can mount that particular wheel on a bench grinder or on a cinder grinder or a surface cylinder. So when we say balancing, there are 2 types of balancing. One is called a static balancing, other one is called dynamic balancing. Of late in CNC machine or centralized grinding machines, we have a dynamic balancing units which are already mounted. Okay, for any conventional thing, we should supposed to do a static balancing. In my session, I'm going to touch upon the static balancing, and during Srinivas session, he is going to explain about the dynamic balancing. Okay. So static balancing is performed outside the machine on a balancing stand. That means you require a balancing stand to do a static balancing. The balancing process is performed with the when the grinding wheel at rest. That's why you can do that. As the name says, static. Static means when the wheel is at rest. So you require a balancing stand. A spirit level must be used to level the balancing stand. Then take the balancing stand, over that place a spirit level the balancing stand before starting the balancing. The balancing arbor, clean the balancing arbor, its seat, and also the contact surface. In addition, the balancing stand must be placed on a firm base. That means the conditions are like this. First, you have to place at a firm base, then clean the balancing arbor, the seat, and level the balancing stand with the help of a spirit leveler.
Now we'll see applications of this abrasives. Again, grinding wheel we are coming. See, yesterday we discussed what is the abrasive type. So like aluminum oxide and silicon carbide. Madhu has explained in detail about this. This is called conventional grinding wheel. Okay. And this CB means cubic boron nitride. This is CBN wheel. And D is diamond. This is super abrasive. This is conventional abrasive. This is super abrasive. This is A is aluminum oxide. This is the abrasive material, that grain, whatever is made out of aluminum oxide. Here it is made out of silicon carbide, SiC. This is conventional and this is super abrasive. In between these two, one more is there, that microcrystalline, that is ceramic wheel. This is Cubitron. So many in applications nowadays, what they are doing, they cannot put this wheel because machine configuration will not support for putting super abrasive. At that time, now they have started using this microcrystalline. This is much better than compared to conventional abrasive. This abrasive type is one. So in any grinding wheel, when we select, we will select based on what? What is the basis for selection of this type of abrasive? Metal to be crowned. If it is steel, one type of abrasive we will select. If it is aluminum, we select different type of abrasive. If it is glass, we select different type of abrasive. So it is based on the metal to be crowned. Then tell me any other thing. Cutting speed and hardness of the material. Then stock removal. How much stock we are removing? By chance, if we are removing rough grinding, we remove more stock. If you are finishing, less stock. If you are doing creep feed grinding, then you will remove in material in the form in mm, like 3 mm, 4 mm. If you are doing the super finishing, you will remove only in microns, 10 microns. So it depends on the selection of this abrasive, depends upon the amount of stock you remove. And you are doing wet or dry. In some time we do wet grinding and dry grinding. Dressing we do dry and grinding we do with wet. Like that, it depends on what type of configuration of the machine. And this is cutting speed. For example, if what is the limitation? Some machines only have got 20 meters per second. Some other machines will have 36 meters per second. Some will be having 45 meters per second. Depending on that, we can go for this or this abrasive. And severity of operation and area of contact. Morning, one person asked, my length is about 200 mm, but width is only 8 mm. Like that. So depending upon the area of contact, how much it will come, we can change the specification. Okay. Now this is abrasive type. And then grain size. Grain size, most of you are understand what is grain size now by this time. See here, this example I have taken. A means what? A is what?
Aluminum oxide.
Aluminum oxide.
See here I have made a circle here. Aluminum oxide. And what is 60?
Grid size.
Grid size.
That is a grid size, grain size. That is expressed in grains per square inch mesh. It will pass through that mesh. Huh? So if it is fine grain means, very fine grain means like 250, 320. This is the size of this grain size. And if it is coarse means, very coarse means 12, 14, like that. We have selected medium. So this is 60 is the grain size. Okay. And what is wheel grade? This is H. H is the, what is H?
Hardness.
Hardness. Here we have selected H. So it is a soft wheel. Okay. And then wheel structure. See, this is porosity. If it is closed or it is open. So usually whenever you are doing rough grinding, better to have open. Or if it is medium, then you can select medium. So depending upon the structure, wheel structure you have to select depending upon the application. Here we have selected what? 15. That is the structure. What is V?
Bond.
Bond.
Vitrified bond.
Which bond? This is vitrified bond. So now it is clear. This is the specification of the grinding mill.
Vitrified.
It's the V is vitrified bond. So this is the specification of the, tell me. Now we have selected this grinding wheel. Now the same thing now we will see. This is about conventional wheel, and Madhu also has explained in detail the where we apply this, where we use this, and how to dress this, and how to balance everything. Now we will focus more today on this one. Before that, maybe today we'll focus on this CBN and diamond. Before that, I will explain about the microcrystalline ceramic. This is also the latest trend in grinding.